Hi, my name is Andrenika, and for my AICE Media Studies coursework, I created a magazine called Y2K Reload. It focuses on Y2K culture, but not just the aesthetic side of it, more like why people are so drawn to it and how it's remembered now. So starting with conventions and representation. I use a lot of typical Y2K magazine conventions to make the product feel authentic. Things like bold pink color schemes, multiple fonts, and busy layouts were really important because magazines from that time were very loud visually and they were kind of chaotic. I wanted my magazine to feel like something that could have actually existed in the early 2000s. But I didn't just want to copy it, I also wanted to challenge those conventions, especially through representation. Now I know what you're thinking. Why is my mom the cover model? Out of everyone I could have picked, your mom? But hear me out. Instead of trying to recreate Y2K with someone who only knows it from TikTok or Pinterest, why not get someone who was actually there? So I just asked her. And now it's a whole aesthetic. And that's kind of the point. What we see now is really a simplified version of the time. Y2K is remembered as this perfect aesthetic, but for the people who actually lived it, it was just everyday life. So by using my mom, it's not just recreating the look, I'm bringing in someone who actually experienced it. It challenges the idea that Y2K is just about visuals, and it also challenges the beauty standards from that era. Because most magazines focused on younger women and very specific looks. All of the images in my magazine are family photos taken at different points in their lives during the time, so it's not just inspired by Y2K, it's coming directly from it. It still fits the aesthetic through the layout and design, but it feels more real and less constructed. So my magazine uses conventions to look authentic, but also subverts them by challenging who is being represented and adding more depth. Moving into audience. My target audience isn't just teenagers, it's more specific than that. It's people who are really drawn to nostalgia, especially people who romanticize the early 2000s. I notice a lot. People in my personal and online life really love Y2K, but mostly the surface level things, like the fashion and the vibe, without really thinking deeper about what the time was actually like. So my magazine kind of plays into that, but also challenges it. Visually, it attracts people through the aesthetic, like the pink tones and nostalgic photography, but through its writing, it becomes more reflective. My tone is very casual and natural, kind of how I actually talk, because I want it to feel personal, not like something formal. I also use my blog and a connected Instagram account to interact with my audience directly. I posted updates, asked questions, used polls to see what people actually associate with Y2K. That helped me understand my audience better and made my project feel more like a real media product instead of something I just made on my own. This connects to users and gratification because my audience might engage with the magazine for diversion, like escaping from that Y2K world, but also for personal identity, because they see themselves in the style and the nostalgia. The interaction through polls also makes them part of it instead of just viewers. If this was a real product, it would probably be distributed online, probably through Instagram and other digital platforms, because that's where my audience already exists. For production skills, I developed a lot throughout this project. At the beginning, I was designing based on what I personally liked, not really thinking about audience or purpose. Over time, I learned how to design with intention. I had to find a balance between my personal style and what actually fits the theme of the magazine. My layouts improved a lot. At first, they were messy, not in a good way. But later, they became more controlled while still keeping the chaotic Y2K feel. I also got better at making everything feel connected, like the fonts, colors, and images all work together instead of just being random. Finally, in terms of technology, I used a range of tools throughout the process. Canva was my main software, and I used it to create mood boards, experiment with color palettes, and design the final magazine. I also used a camera to take my own photos and give them a nostalgic effect. I got inspiration not just online, but also from real magazines, which helped me understand how actual media products were structured. My blog was really important because it let me document my process and reflect on my decisions as I was going on. So overall, technology wasn't just something I used at the end, it was part of my whole process and helped shape the final product. Overall, this project became more than just making a magazine. It made me think more about how people view the past and how media influences that.